Happening now, we have the latest from a courtroom on a major factory fire in the city of Jamestown. And we look at how a Supreme Court case could change how tax auctions are held in Chautauqua County. Plus, we look at the charitable efforts affecting our furry friends. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, the court case involving the former Crawford Furniture Factory is currently on hold. Now the November 22 fire laid waste to the former factory, leaving nothing but a pile of rubble behind. City Attorney Elliot Raimondo tells us that the owners of the building had been cited for multiple code violations and hazardous materials, which was never done. Both parties met in court last Friday, which ultimately the court was adjourned.
It's clear to everyone that the corporation involved, Allen Street Development, is liable for the damages that are at issue. However, a bigger question has been, if that corporation declares bankruptcy, where are we going to get the money, if we can get the money for this cleanup, where it doesn't have to come from the taxpayers of Jamestown, the state of New York, or the federal government. So in that way, we have been attempting to sue the owners of the corporation directly, and specifically Richard Rosiniak.
Now the city is facing over $5 million in damages and cleanup efforts. Well, one person has died in a Dunkirk shooting 2 weeks ago. The Dunkirk Police Department say that 36-year-old Antonia Watts had died as a result of the May 23rd shooting. Authorities were called to 88 Maple Avenue in the city of Dunkirk at around 4:25 p.m. Officers say that the confrontation was amongst people who most likely knew each other. Now, Watts was taken to Brooks Memorial Hospital, where he ultimately succumbed to his injuries. Dunkirk police would like the public to know that due to the personal nature of this shooting, there is no threat to the public at this time. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Dunkirk Police Department at 366-2266 or the confidential tip line at 363-0313. Well, just over $1.2 million in New York State grant funding has been awarded to the Chautauqua County Land Bank last week. Governor Kathy Hochul announced funding is to be distributed to 24 land banks across New York State. 1.217 of those dollars are coming to Chautauqua County. The state's land bank initiative worked to receive this money to increase housing supply, help local economic development, spark homeownership opportunities, aid community beautification efforts, and improve overall quality of life. The grant funding announced on June 2nd accompanies Governor Hochul's $25 billion housing plan that intends to build and preserve 100,000 affordable homes across New York State. Now, previously, members of the Land Bank in Chautauqua County said the main problem areas include the cities of Jamestown and Dunkirk. In addition to the state funding, the city of Jamestown allocated $1 million in ARPA funds for the service of demolition purposes. Well, a U.S. Supreme Court decision could affect how local tax auctions are done. Almost 2 weeks ago, the court ruled that both states and local governments cannot keep any proceeds beyond what is owed when collecting property with unpaid taxes. All of this stems from a county in Michigan that violated the Fifth Amendment by taking their private property. Now, Jamestown Director of Development Crystal Surdick says that the city may not pull any properties now due to this ruling.
The Supreme Court overturned a ruling out of Michigan that has now set the precedent and changed the legislation for any municipality that is running an in-rem foreclosure auction. They are now considering that foreclosed properties, once they are sold, that constitutes a taking of somebody's property.
Now, ultimately, municipalities in the Empire State believe that the auction should be delayed until a state plan is in place. No matter what, the homes up for the tax auction will still be assessed by code enforcement officers. Well, getting a quick change real quick, we'll get a check of our first weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson. And still no rain, huh?
Yeah, still no rain. We're trying, but it's not working. Our talk to Mother Nature is not doing anything, but it is at least still nice outside. And we started off with a live look from Mayville out there. We got partly sunny skies, although we have more haze in the skies as a result from wildfire smoke from Canada. It's also quite breezy out there. So yeah, a little breezy day out there. And let's talk about an elevated fire risk. Here's something you don't see very often across the region. The NOAA Storm Prediction Center, also besides severe weather, they also do fire outlooks, and they have placed the entire region except for the immediate Lake Erie shoreline under a day 1 elevated risk for wildfire spread. The combination of the dry weather, humidity levels being relatively low, and those wind gusts will create an elevated risk for wildfire spread across the region. As such, portions of northwestern Pennsylvania, including Erie County and Pennsylvania, Warren and McKean County, have a special weather statement for the elevated wildfire spread, trying saying that. And over here in Potter County, you see that pink, or I should say more of a maroon color, pink color. We have an, I can't remember what it is now. We have an elevated, there's a greater risk of elevated fire spread across Pennsylvania there. That's why Potter County is in that pink. And then back here in New York State, although Western New York is not under an air quality alert, the ozone levels are higher today. So once again, the elderly kids, those with, I can't speak now. Those with, I'm drawing a blink right now. Yes, elevated wildfire spread and the air quality alert. Moving on to the Almanac, as I will try to speak now. Yesterday we made it to a high of 67 degrees yesterday. Our low for the day yesterday was 42. The record for the day, 92, set back in 1925. And the record low of 32, set back in 1929. And now here's your first offense weather forecast for the rest of the day. Partly cloudy skies, hazy skies from the wildfire smoke. Highs today will range from the upper 60s near the immediate Lake Erie shoreline to the lower 70s across inland areas. When I try to go speak, I'll have the full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. Coming up next, a trooper has been charged that is responsible for a 2022 shooting. And later, we hear from PA lawmakers about gun safety for the state. Stay with us, as WNY News Now will be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Hi, I'm Dave Manella, Chairman of the Italian American Charity Golf Association, and it is our goal to help in the fight against cancer-related care. We have held our annual charity fundraiser for over 52 years and raised over $1.6 million for the healthcare facilities throughout our community. This includes UPMC Cancer Treatment Center and the Star Hospice House. Our next tournament will be held from June 8th through June 10th at Holiday Valley. If you would like more information, you can go to icharitygolf.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A New York State trooper has been charged with manslaughter following a shooting that claimed the life of a Northeast Pennsylvania man last year. Now, Trooper Anthony Negro was fatally shot 38-year-old James Hubbard on Friday on February 12, 2022 in downtown Buffalo after trying to prevent dangerous driving on a New York State thruway. Now, the state police reports say that Hubbard's vehicle was traveling over 100 miles per hour at the time and has crashed into state police vehicle during the pursuit. The trooper approached Hubbard once he stopped giving verbal commands to exit his car. That's when Hubbard drove off, putting his vehicle into reverse. And then the firearm was discharged. Now the trooper has pled not guilty to first and second degree manslaughter at his Buffalo arraignment and was released without bail. Well, an Erie woman turned herself into police after shooting along Lake Erie Saturday morning. Now that shooting critically injured another who is now recovering in a Pittsburgh hospital. Erie News Now's Lisa Adams has been digging into this, finding out that this is just one example of a growing problem along the lakeside.
Erie's beautiful waterfront is not so lovely lately when the sun goes down. An Uber driver shared this video of a disturbance and beating just last month. Erie police well aware of the problem.
Heavy drinking and partying is going on now. Fights are breaking out. The business owners down there are, there's been problems caused with not only the businesses but the patrons coming in and out of the businesses.
The dock area around bars, restaurants, and hotels at the foot of State is the big issue. But over the weekend, a fight at nearby Lampe Marina and Campground led to a 22-year-old woman shot and critically injured. 23-year-old Essence McGee of Erie turned herself in.
A female came to the front counter and turned herself in, and that female has been charged with aggravated assault and other gun-related charges in connection with that gunshot victim.
Sources tell us this Port Authority dock wall is part of the problem. It's become a real hangout for people partying, playing loud music, smoking weed, and some even carrying weapons. Police already plan to beef up their presence down here. It's something businesses welcome.
It's huge for us. I mean, we are seasonal, and we need to make all of our money in a very short period of time. We have 5 months basically to make a year's worth of money. My bills don't go away in the wintertime, so it's very important that the police takes a presence down here and starts to step up patrols.
We want everyone to enjoy the dock. We want everyone to be safe and have a good time. So, we've increased our presence down there. We're going to put specialized patrols down there to make sure that, everyone is able to have a good time and enjoy, Erie's downtown and enjoy the dock.
Now Erie Police, Port Authority Police, and private security from these businesses are all working to help address this problem. Well, at the PA Capitol, Democratic state senators spoke out about the importance of advocating what they call common sense gun measures. While gun safety has been a big priority for Democrats leading up to this month, 2 gun measures recently passed the House and now wait for movement in the Senate. The first bill is a red flag bill, which would allow a judge to order the seizure of firearms if asked by family members or law enforcement. Now, the second bill would expand background checks for those looking to purchase a firearm. It would also end an exception for private sales of shotguns, sporting rifles, and semi-automatic rifles, commonly known as the gun show loophole. Democratic senators say the legislation will save lives and is supported by a majority of Pennsylvanians.
We can have common sense gun laws in Pennsylvania, and I can assure you, the people of Pennsylvania are waiting for this because the support for these bills is 70, 80, 90%.
Senate Republicans say the Commonwealth already has robust gun laws that must be enforced in every corner of the Commonwealth. For the full response from the Senate Majority Leader, you can find it on our website at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, going off of what Andrew said earlier, wildfires in Canada, they're causing air quality alerts in parts of the U.S. Minneapolis currently has a moderate conditions, although it's expected to get worse on Tuesday and possibly be hazardous to people with breathing problems. Most of Wisconsin's air quality reports have expired, but some spots include Green Bay and Milwaukee are still deemed unhealthy among the other states that could have issues over the next 24 hours. New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, and Rhode Island forecasters say a cold front is set to move south this week and that could push smoke to other areas. Well, coming up, bad news for students. Loan repayments are coming back. Our DC correspondent breaks down what's to come. And later, we have the latest from Ukraine, where many residents are being evacuated after a dam explosion. But first, we come back with a look at our full weather forecast when WNY News Now returns.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we're under partly sunny skies. The current conditions at the Jamestown Airport as of noon, 66 degrees is the current temperature with a north wind of 14 miles per hour and a wind gust being reported of 20 miles per hour. Well, I talked about this a few days ago, but the update from last Thursday for the drought monitor placed the entire southern tier of northwestern Pennsylvania under abnormally dry conditions with a lack of rain. And since we haven't gotten any rain in the past week, when this is updated again this Thursday, it is likely that this will be worsened and we might even go into a moderate drought. Speaking of rain, when is the last time that we had rain at the Jamestown Airport? Well, it's been 16 days since we've actually seen any rain at the Jamestown Airport. We have to go all the way back to May 21st of last month where we had rain, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any more rain, at least widespread rain that we need anytime soon. Here's what's happening across the Northeast right now. We do have a low pressure system off the Gulf of Maine. It's kind of just stationary there, and it's not going to bring much in the way of any rain to our region. Maybe some rain off to our east, but back here across western New York, it's going to be few and far between with the rain showers, and we also have a weak cold front dropping through the region. So let's time it out on Future Scan. Future Scan, partly to mostly sunny skies today afternoon, although that haze from the wildfire creates a hazy sky. We go into partly to mainly clear skies overnight tonight, and basically the same thing through the day tomorrow. Partly to mostly sunny skies, maybe an isolated chance for a shower across the eastern portions of the area, but we should tick up those rain chances heading Wednesday night into Thursday with more moisture available. We might go some scattered showers on Thursday, but it's not going to be a complete washout. We need a day of widespread rain, and it's just not going to happen anytime soon. Here it is on an extended forecast. Powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions, temperatures over the next few days will be cooler in the mid to upper 60s. They'll actually go lower 60s for tomorrow and Thursday, about a 30% chance for a few showers on Thursday, and then we're pretty much dry Friday and Saturday. We'll bring in some more scattered chances for showers Sunday and Monday with temperatures in the lower 70s, but we need rain and we're just not getting it.
Well, I think we were talking, it hasn't really rained since Justin left us, so it has to be something with that.
It's been 2 weeks, and the last time we had rain is when he left, so he probably has something to do with it.
Oh, that Justin. We'll grab you some headlines from around the nation. And if you have student loans, get ready for those payments to start up again. Part of the debt ceiling agreement included resuming student loan payments. Now our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports from the White House.
The yeas are 63, the nays are 36. The 60-vote threshold having been achieved, the bill is passed.
Just before the weekend, Congress passed a deal on the debt ceiling, which allows the government to borrow money to pay its bills and to keep the nation from defaulting.
Is it a home run? No. It's maybe a single, maybe a double, but I don't think anyone expected that Kevin McCarthy could deliver any base runners at all, and he has.
Of course, nobody got everything they wanted. There was give on both sides, but this agreement was a very good outcome.
Part of the deal involves student loan repayments. According to the 99-page bill, repayments will start 60 days after June 30th, which is the end of August. The payment pause was first put in place by former President Donald Trump at the beginning of the pandemic. Since then, borrowers haven't been required to make payments until now. According to the Washington Post, about 1 in 5 Americans have student loans, which is around 45 million people. About half of them have federal student loans with $20,000 or less to pay. A third of all borrowers owe less than $10,000, and roughly 7% with student debt owe more than $100,000.
The joint resolution is passed.
This past Thursday, the Senate voted to advance a Republican measure to overturn a separate student loan cancellation plan from the president, which offered up to $20,000 in federal student loan relief for borrowers who qualified. The White House is expected to veto that measure.
Now, the Supreme Court also heard arguments in February on the president's student loan forgiveness plan. We expect the court to make their final decision on that within the next few months. While attorneys for former President Donald Trump are meeting with the Justice Department officials sometime yesterday about the special counsel's probe. Now, sources familiar with the matter say that it's to discuss allegations of prosecutorial misconduct from Trump's legal team in the classified documents investigations. The lawyers wrote to Attorney General Merrick Garland last month to request the discussion. Special counsel Jack Smith is looking into whether Trump broke any laws retaining documents marked classified under his presidency. A grand jury is set to hear from another witness in the case this week, according to a source. That is first unknown action about a month as the probe potentially enters its final stages. Court documents show the FBI recovered 11 sets of classified documents from Trump's Mar-a-Lago, Florida home in August. The special counsel's investigation is separate from the one in New York that resulted in 34 felony criminal charges against Trump. Now, those involve alleged hush money scheme ahead of the 2016 election. Trump denies those allegations and has pled not guilty. Ukraine, is accusing Russian forces of blowing up a critical dam near the front lines of the war in a Russian-controlled area of the Kherson region. The surging waters leading to fears of large-scale devastation and an environmental disaster. Settlements downstream are flooding as residents in danger zone are being urged to evacuate. More than 800 people in the region have already been forced from their homes. Now officials are warning people to, quote, do everything you can to save your life. Sam Kiley has the latest from Ukraine.
Well, the numbers of people in immediate danger are concentrated really potentially on the Russian-occupied side of the river. This is still Ukrainian territory on the eastern side because the higher ground is to the west. Now, the biggest city downriver from this dam is obviously Kherson City. Local authorities there have begun evacuating significant numbers of people, laying on trains, also putting out messages to say to people, get your essential documents, release your pets, get onto high ground and get out of the areas likely to be affected.
Well, coming up next, we hear from those with the Chautauqua County Humane Society about this year's charitable efforts.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Caitlin Armstrong.
Land has been quite the experience.
Hi, I'm Dave Manella, Chairman of the Italian-American Charity Golf Association, and it is our goal to help in the fight against cancer-related care. We have held our annual charity fundraiser for over 52 years and raised over $1.6 million for the healthcare facilities throughout our community. This includes UPMC Cancer Treatment Center and the Star Hospice House. Our next tournament will be held from June 8th through June 10th at Holiday Valley. If you would like more information, you can go to ihcharitygolf.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
The Chautauqua County Humane Society's annual Pennies for Paws drive has come to an end, and according to staff at the shelter, it was a very successful collection year. Now our Alyssa Wright reports on how the community had come together to support our local Humane Society and raise funds to help cover the costs of so many furry friends.
Pennies for Paws wrapped up actually on April 30th, but when you have that many pennies to take to the bank, it takes a minute to get everything together. But our goal was $20,000 or 2 million pennies, and it was really exciting that we crossed $25,000.
The Pennies for Paws drive is very important to the health of the CCHS.
It goes towards lights. We're here in the senior colony. It goes towards food. It goes towards animal care. Enrichment, behavior, all sorts of stuff. And that's also why, like with Give Big CHQ coming up this Thursday, we're right on the heels for that, because, you know, that we don't shut down. The animals always need us, and that cost is always there.
Community.
And we don't get funding from any federal or state or local, you know, source. Like, it's all community driven. You know, it's donations, it's grants. It makes this work possible.
In the end, Papalea and staff at the Humane Society give their thanks to the community and encourage all to stop in and learn more about how to help the shelter.
Really grateful to all the people that help us out, and we're, you know, always looking for more. And if they don't have or want to donate financially, they can always volunteer.
Those interested in helping out can learn more about volunteering or making a donation on the Chautauqua County Humane Society website, chqhumane.org. In Jamestown, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. I don't know if you could hear that. Could you hear her talking in that B-roll?
Yeah.
She's an animal lover. She always loves it. She's taken over our Pet of the Week segment.
Every time he brings a pet in, it always goes right to Alyssa.
She was telling us, you remember Ben, the cat that she got on our show? He turns 1 this week.
I want to test it. I want him to bring in a pit bull one day. I'll be out there when you bring in a pit bull, but I want to see if it's like very angry, if she's able to calm it down. That'd be interesting.
A lot of people have some misconceptions about pit bulls, and we see that a lot here, but we've had a few people come forward with us with stories about that, and it's always a two-sided sword, but we always love to support our furry friends here at WNY News Now. We'll be sure to get Brian in here Friday with whatever pet comes in. I know you've always been advocating for a hamster or something.
Or a guinea pig. I think we did have a guinea pig in here, but it was
once.
It was alone and needed a friend.
Yeah, we should really have that. Well, that's all the time we have for today, everyone. We'll see you next time. Although we'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake, and there's some blue skies, so those wildfires haven't gotten too bad.
There's some ducks out there too.